Alright, so coming in at number 9 will be 2011 playoff version of David Freese. So we know they're having playoff flashbacks in the game, so I decided to start adding a few of these videos. So we're going to start with David Freese. In 2011, of course, he had a great series. In the playoffs, he had 5 home runs, 12 runs, and 21 RBIs in the playoffs, which I think is set a playoff record. I also kind of included the fact he had a good season the next year, and when he was up for 2011, he had a good solid season. I didn't want to just make him a 99 based off one series, but this is kind of what you're going to get with David Freese, a good hitter against lefties. Going to have power in the upper 60s and low 70s, average fielder at best, but overall just a solid hitter, and his clutch is also maxed out at 99 for all the big time hits he got in the postseason. So here's to hoping we see a playoff version of David Freese as a flashback. Coming in at number 8 on our list is another playoff card, and this is going to be the playoff Pablo Sandoval. I would probably go with the 2012. He also had good series in 2014, but 2012 was where he hit 6 home runs, drove in 13 runners, and hit 364 in the playoffs, including the World Series. He had those 3 home runs in one game. So if you take a quick look at his splits, he usually hits righties better, struggles a little bit against lefties. So I gave him a little boost in contact, and I gave him a little boost versus power. Again, I didn't want to make this card just maxed out based off one World Series, so I try to be fair here. Overall, he's a good fielder, just doesn't have a lot of range or good reaction. And of course, his clutch is going to be maxed out at 99. Now, the key thing with Pablo is he is a switch hitter, so this would be a solid budget flashback card if they do decide to bring it for MLB 16 the show. Coming in at number 7 on our list is actually going to be the rookie version of Miguel Cabrera. So he played a little bit in 2003, but this is going to be based off his 2004 season. So in that year, he had 33 home runs, 112 RBIs, 101 runs scored, and he played primarily at third base. So he also played a little bit of outfield, but we're going to just put him at third base for this, and this is going to put him at number 7, and he's going to come in at 91 overall. So for that year, overall, he hit 294. So if you take a quick look at his contact, he hit righties around 300, a little bit above 300, and lefties he was like in that 270 range. So those are going to be his splits, and for that year he did have 33 home runs, and he showed a little bit more power against lefties, but still good balance here, good solid card. The one downside is going to be his defense. There might be a misconception out there. Miguel Cabrera was never a good defensive player. He could play third and he could play a little bit of outfield. It doesn't mean he was good at it. Similar to Albert Pujols. Albert Pujols is a little better defensively. But anyways, this is going to be the rookie flashback version of Miguel Cabrera, coming in at 91 overall. Coming in number 6 on our list is going to be the prime flashback version of 2009 Ryan Zimmerman, and he would come in overall at a 92. So in 2009, he had 33 home runs, 106 RBIs, 110 runs scored, hit 292 overall, played some pretty solid defense over at third base as well. So if you take a look at his attributes, he hit a little bit better against righties, around 300, and against lefties, he was in that like 280, 275 mark. Pretty good power for that year. Hit a little more power against the right-handers, right-handed pitching, left-handed pitching. He was still solid at 72, and fielding pretty solid as well. If you take a quick look, his reaction and arm strength, it's pretty good. Arm accuracy 67. So overall, this is going to be another nice budget card, and he will hit righties a little bit better. So kind of one of them reverse splits guys. So definitely hope to see this card in MLB 16 the show. Coming in number 5 on our list is the prime flashback of 2012, Chase Headley, coming in at 95 overall. So for that season, for the Padres, he had 31 home runs, 115 RBIs, scored 95 runs. Batted 286 with 376 on base, and played again pretty solid defense over at third base. So if you take a quick look at his attributes, he hits righties a little bit better around that 300 mark. Against lefties, he's more in that 260 mark. Power is pretty even from both sides. Take a quick look at vision, not so great. Discipline's good. Clutches, above average. And the fielding, of course, like I said, solid, pretty good fielder. So what's going to really make this card again solid is a switch hitter. These switch hitters are so invaluable in the show. You never have to worry about substituting them out. So cards like this and the Pablo Sandoval are going to be pretty solid cards. Of course, this card's rated a little bit higher than the Sandoval card, but nonetheless, this would be a cool card to see in MLB 16 to show. Coming in at number 4 on our list is going to be the Prime Flashback version of the 2009 Evan Longoria. He's going to come in at a 97 overall. For that year, he had 33 home runs, drove in 113 runners, and had a 281 average, and played phenomenal defense over at third base. If you take a quick look at his attributes, he hits lefties better than righties, so this is one of those traditional guys, right-handed batters that hits lefties better, sees the ball better against left-handed pitching. So his power versus lefties is going to be 90. Power versus righties still pretty solid at 84. Vision not so great, might be one downfall to him. He did strike out a lot that year. His defense is solid across the board, good range, made the routine plays, good arm strength, good arm accuracy. So I definitely expect to see an Evan Longoria. I just don't know what year they'd pick. I'd imagine it'll be 2009 or 2010. But hopefully we see Evan Longoria as a flashback in MLB 16 show. Coming in at number 3 on our list is the Prime Flashback 2007 David Wright, coming in at 98 overall. So in 2007, David Wright had 30 home runs, drove in 107 runners, scored 113 runs as well. Batted 325, so he was a great contact hitter, get on base at 416, and above average defender over at third base. So taking a look at his attributes, again, he crushes lefties. One of those traditional right-handed batters that just crushes lefties. Contact versus righties is still solid nonetheless. I mean, he did hit 325 for that year. Power versus righties is still solid at 66, but you're going to get most of his power facing left-handed pitching. Everything else is pretty solid across the board. Good fielding. I mean, you can always rely on him over there at third base. Definitely not a liability over there. Overall, I mean, I'd say this is a great card, coming at 98 overall. I definitely think they'll do a David Wright. I mean, it's almost a fact they'll do one. So it'll probably be 2007 or 2008. But hopefully we see David Wright in MLB 16 to show. Coming in number 2 on our list is going to be the rookie version of Albert Pujols. So if you guys watched my first base flashbacks, I already had Pujols on there, and it's already confirmed he is going to be a first base flashback for his prime card. We also know he'll have a rookie card, so that's going to be when he plays from third base. He'd have a secondary position in left field because he did play a little bit of left field that year and moved to left field the next year. Anyways, though, for 2001, he had 37 home runs, 130 RBIs, batted 329, had a 403 on base. I mean, everything was great about him. Defense at third base was actually around average, not great, around average. So overall, his contact is going to be solid in the 90s, and his power is not going to be a slouch either. It's going to be in the 80s. He hits lefties a little bit better when it comes to power. Everything else is just solid, and this card is going to come in at 98 overall. So this is the rookie version of Albert Pujols, and this will be for the 2001 season. Alright guys, so coming in number 1 on our list is going to be the 2004 Prime MVP version of Adrian Beltre, and he's going to come in at 99 overall. So for 2004, he had 48 home runs, drove in 121 runners, and he hit 334. And he also played, I mean, amazing defense. One of the best defensive performances ever by a third baseman that year. So his defense is going to be phenomenal. He had about a 10 WAR that season, similar to A-Rod's shortstop, if you guys watched my last video, about a 10 WAR. So his contact versus righties and lefties is going to be solid. He hit righties a little bit better, but contact versus righties is nearly maxed out, but I put it at 97. Same thing for power versus righties. He got most of his power against right-handed pitching. Against left-handed pitching, it was still solid nonetheless. That came in at 66 overall, though. Vision and discipline, weren't the greatest, above average, and his clutch was pretty good as well. But again, what's going to separate this card from the others is his fielding is so good, it's just better than everybody else on this list. The one downside is he doesn't have that power versus lefty, so you guys might want to, pick your poison. If you guys rather have cards that are better against left-handed pitching, you can go with a Pujols or Zimmerman or Longoria. But if you guys want to hit the right-handed pitching, look at a card like this, and especially against his contact and power, just amazing. And the thing is, there's no left-handed batters when it comes to third baseman. There's only the 2 switch hitters. So this is going to be our #1 card for third baseman flashbacks. Tell me if you guys agree or disagree. So as far as honorable mentions go, I couldn't think of too many. One I did think of was Pedro Alvarez, 2013. He did have 36 home runs. Some other ones I thought of, 2010, Casey McGehee for the Brewers had a solid season. You could also throw Anthony Rendon in that list, but it just happened too recently. And then Kyle Seager is turning it on pretty well for the Seattle Mariners, but I just feel like his card would be too similar to what it would be for to his current version. So those are the only 3 honorable mentions I have. Let me know if you guys can think of anything else. I just felt like this list was pretty top-heavy, so it wasn't too difficult to think of the really good third baseman. So let me know if you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with the rankings I had. This is Cardinalbird5 signing off. Peace.